Hello again, and welcome to Scarlett's Desk 365. And my name is Scarlett. Today is July 31st, 2016. And I would like to say or talk a little bit about what it's like to be transgender. And first, I want to say that if being transgender was a choice, then I would have got out a long time ago. And I'm pretty sure a lot of transgender people would feel that way if it was an actual choice within our minds and our hearts to not go through all the hell and all the discrimination in which we face every day. And one thing I've noticed about transgender discrimination and people talking about discrimination and stuff, a good percentage of those videos, and I think it's safe to say that 95% of people talking about transgender and being discriminated against and stuff like that, I've noticed that they are beautiful, passable, at least in the video. A good percentage of them got money, lawyers, um, you know, stuff like that. But you don't ever really see videos from people like myself and saying what it's like to be transgender and not be all that passable and not being all that pretty or beautiful and not having money to hire lawyers and stuff to sue somebody for discrimination or whatever. Okay, so I'm here today to kind of talk about that, to talk about what I go through personally as a transgender person that's not all that passable, that when I'm in public, of what I go through. And what's really hard for someone like me is that I'm extremely observant to what goes on around me. And so when I'm in a public place, I notice things that other people didn't notice. You know, like Cindy being with me when we were together, walking through a store or whatever, Cindy would notice these kind of things that people would do to me. And as you can tell, I have very, very bright, it's pink now, it was red hair, so it kind of makes me like a lamppost, out there. Everybody can see it, which is going to change this week. But, the other day, or well, actually a couple of weeks ago, I'm from Texas. The other day could be 2 days, it could be 20 days, it could be 2 months, But anyway, so a few weeks ago, I go to IHOP with Cindy in the South St. Petersburg, Florida area on US 19. And there was a group of folks sitting at the second booth inside the door. And the two girls or women that were facing the door saw me and told the two guys that their backs were to the door. They turned and looked at me, and all four of these people just busted out laughing. Like I was the most hilarious thing they had ever seen in their life, and they have no bones about doing this boisterous out loud in front of everybody as I walked in the door. And they were able to spot me before I walked in the door because it's all glass right there, and they were right there. But that's just a minute piece of information of what we go through out here uh, in the life of trans like me, and many other trans that are not all that passable, And so, like today, I was at the store with a friend of mine, and I walked by the end of an aisle, and one of the women that were in the group looked up at me and just busted out laughing at me. These people don't give a crap about how they hurt other people, and how when they do these things to people like me, to trans like me, that this is where a lot of us trans end up thinking about suicide, because you get tired of being laughed at, you get tired of being scorned, you get tired of just being treated like you're nothing and kicked to the curb like you're just a piece of trash and nobody gives a shit, And so I have had parents in stores in Walmart and just point me out to their kids like I'm some attraction to look at, And that's what goes on in a trans person's life that's really not all that passable, Like this trans girl, Jazz. She's beautiful. I admire what she's doing. I think she's great for a lot of the young people that have absolutely no idea what they're going to be going through, and she's helping a lot of people, and I love her for that. But she does not face discrimination walking through a store if nobody knows who she is. Because she's beautiful, she's passable. You would never know that she was born the way she was born if you didn't know who she was. And I see a lot of these trans women that are murdered, and it just breaks my heart. I'm like, these ladies are absolutely beautiful, and I'm like, I just don't understand why other people have to hate so much just because somebody else is different than you. If you're in a parking lot and you don't like the color of somebody's car, you don't go and blow it up. It's just absolutely crazy that we can't be who we are safely because of the people that want to hurt us for no reason. We didn't do anything to you, and we've never done anything to you. Trans people are the least likely to go out and harm somebody than anybody else in the world, because us trans people go through such discrimination and live through hate-filled statements and comments nearly every day of our life. We have compassion. We don't want to see anybody else go through that. So we're damn sure not going to do it to somebody. And if you just would get rid of your hatred and your discriminatory thoughts and get to know trans people, you will find out that trans people are really wonderful, loving human beings. And yeah, some of us have some really bad attitudes out there. And the reason why we have attitude so much is because of the discrimination and the hate and the sexual comments that we get on a regular basis, and the more beautiful a trans woman is, the worse the sexual harassment and the sexual assaults happen. You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen to the to the lesser beautiful ones. I'm just saying that we all go through this sexual harassment. You see my nose? You see how my nose is bent and broke right there? That's because a black guy grabbed me on my ass. And I will tell you his name. His name is Jason Payne. Go figure, his last name's Payne, right? Well, anyway, he grabbed my ass when I was in vocational school, and we got into a fight, and during this process, he broke my nose. So, does this look like the kind of thing that I really want to go through just so that I can wear clothes that that people say is for the other gender? No, it's not. None of us want to go through any of the sexual harassment that we get, any of the hate or discrimination that we get. Women have it really bad, you know, when they're, you know, out at bars or clubbing or whatever. But you want to know who has it even worse? Are the transgender people, especially the transgender females that go out to clubs and stuff like that. For some stupid reason, men think that they're dressing like that because they want to have sex. Now, where the hell do you come up with that idea? And I found out something really sad recently, and it breaks my heart when I read the comments from these cosplay women that dress up in these cosplay outfits. You know, that men go to the cosplay events and they sexual harass the ladies that are there to have fun being their superhero or whatever type of costume in which they are dressing up in. You know, and these ladies were saying that these guys, you know, walk by and grab their ass and grab their pussy and grab their breast, you know, and that's exactly what a lot of men do to transgender people. For some reason or another, it's like they believe that this is okay, that this is what we want, you know. And no, screw that. You know, you treat a transgender woman just like you would any other woman, with respect and dignity. When she's out in public, you know, you try to talk to her, you know, be respectful to her. Because let me tell you, if you're respectful to the transgender woman and you don't try all these come-ons and stuff like that, you know, thinking that you're all hot and shit, then you'll get a better response than to try to be sexual with her before you ever even know her name, okay? Because let me tell you something, guys. Let me tell you something. I warn you right now that one of these days you're going to sexual harass the wrong transgender woman and you're going to get an ass whooping you ain't never seen before in your life. Because some of these trans women out here, some of them are ex-Marines. Some of them are Army. Some of them are Navy. You know, some of them are ex-police officers. Some of them are police officers. And a lot of them trained to fight. So you keep on. One day you're going to fuck with the wrong transgender woman. And you ain't going to like it. Okay? If you live out of it, you'll be lucky. Because she's going to rock your world. So, back to my original subject. I'm tired of being laughed at. When I haven't done anything funny for you to be laughing at me. You know, I go to a particular Walmart a lot. And I know a lot of employees that work there. There's a lot of wonderful employees at this store. There's a few that I ain't going to speak of, but I'm going to tell you, getting laughed at just because you're being yourself is very hurtful. It's extremely painful. There are a lot of nights I know for myself that I cry myself to sleep. I cry on the way home from whatever store because I don't go do that to anybody else. There's a lot of people out there that I see in stores that I'm like, I cannot believe they came to the store looking like that. But I do not make fun of these people. I do not think anything bad about these people. Whoever that person is that got up out of bed and, just run to Walmart, I just don't agree with people wearing pajamas to Walmart, but, they're covered, But I love everybody, and I try to treat everybody with respect and with dignity, and I try to help people the best I can. I've let people live with me, and I've had to kick every one of them out, and it's absolutely horrible, that in today's society, lying and deception is the norm. And I've never lied or deceived anybody on purpose. And if I ever did, I apologize to anybody out there that did. There's one thing that Cindy Marie Cold Iron could tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, is I never lied to her. Ever. And because that's not me, that's not who I am. And it really hurts me when people lie to me, and treat me like shit when I have done nothing to you. And transgender people out in public, with all this crap going on with the governor of North Carolina and several other, right-wing Christian organizations that want to, criminalize being who we are and want to kill us, because of who we are, So I want to ask everybody out there that's not transgender today, that is not transgender, don't have no plan on being transgender. How many times have you heard on the news where a target was put on your back just because you are who you are? Because you're a woman? No. There's never been a target put on your back just because you're a woman. There's never been a target put on your back just because you're an adult. There's never been a target put on your back just because you were a man. There's never been a target put on your back just because you were a teenager or you were an adolescent or anything like that. Okay? See, to get a target on your back, you have to go do something to somebody or be accused of something. And then you get a target on your back. But transgender people, we always got a target on our back. We never know when someone's going to strike to hurt and kill us or to rape us or mutilate our bodies just because of who we are. Years ago, yeah, that's the way it was with the Afro-American people, but that has nothing to do with today's society. And if you allow today's society to take you back to those days, that is your own fault. Fuck all the racism. Fuck all the discrimination. Just love yourself. Love your neighbor. Love your friend for who they are and quit trying to change people to be like you. because it's not going to happen. But being hateful is not who you are. You choose to be hateful. You choose to discriminate against people. You choose to hurt people. It's a bunch of bullshit, you know? There's no difference between me and the woman down the road, across the street, in the store, when it comes to being a human being, because everybody born into this world is a human being. And everybody in the United States of America came under the law of freedom. You know, I'm so sick of hearing, you know, oh, well, we need rights for this, and we need rights for that, and we need rights for this. Well, when you technically look at it, everybody had equal rights years ago. Until somebody at some point in time said, oh, well, we don't want, you know, black people to drink out of the same water fountain or walk on the same side of the street with me or whatever. Okay? It wasn't because they didn't have freedom under the law. It was because some asshole, usually some old white fucker, comes up and makes some stupid law. You know? And now it's happening to transgender people. And it's crazy. It's bullshit. You know? And so, African American people are wonderful people. There's nothing wrong with African American people. Just because their skin is a little darker than anybody else. Oh well, stop looking at their skin and start looking at who they are as a person. Because I'm going to tell you, there's just as many crooked, whites, Mexicans, Latinos, whatever ethnicity that they are, as there is African Americans. But if you look at transgender people and African American people and pit bulls, you'll see the same discrimination in all three. It's because this is what society chooses to discriminate against by choice. So one household comes up and says, oh, well, I don't like this about this, and so then they get together with their little white friends, you know, generally in some type of government authority, you know, and then they make a new rule, you know, to discriminate against those three types in the world. And that's bullshit, okay? And until we get all these old fuckers out of the damn government offices, it's not going to change. We're going to keep having more and more fights and more discrimination and more killings until we get all these old fuckers that's been in office for the past 30, 40, 50 fucking years that's still trying to make the same hate-filled laws and discrimination laws against people, you know. So, I'm going to let this video rest for now because we're already at 24 minutes. So, I love you guys. And signing off at Scarstead 365. I will talk to you again soon. Love y'all.